Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Freeze Take. We are in the middle of the most exciting time of the year for sports fans, March Madness. That's right, Sweet 16 is set, but the question still seems to be, can anyone beat Kentucky? And if so, who? What's it going to take? I'm going to tell you that much and more right here. So the pundits are telling us that Kentucky is poised to win it all. John Calipari is coaching a team that's going to be the first in the program's history to go undefeated in its quest for a championship. Sounds good, but is that a foregone conclusion? Are they so much better than the field of play that they're destined to be champions? This is March Madness. Favorites don't matter. All it takes is one good team to have a great outing, and down goes Goliath. Now, granted, Kentucky's an incredibly talented team, the most talented team in the poll. I mean, they've got 5 guys on their roster right now. They're projected to go in the top 30 in the NBA draft. So these guys can play. They're also the deepest team in the tournament. When they turn to their bench, they substitute their starters with starting caliber players. That's tough for any team to match up with. Throw in the fact that they're one of the best rebounding teams in the nation, averaging 13 offensive rebounds per game, and their defense is ranked 3rd in points allowed. So yeah, they'll be a tough team to beat for anyone, but I do think they can be beat. Take Arizona. They're second only to Kentucky in depth and defense, and with guys like Johnson, Jefferson, Ashley, and McConnell, they can match Kentucky's size and athleticism and bang with them in the paint. So they're not going to get completely overwhelmed by Kentucky's physicality. They'll match up with them in that regard. And they're a great rebounding team, so Kentucky won't pound them on the boards like they typically do against their opponents. Now, granted, Arizona is going to have to make it a slow, low-scoring, grinded-out game because they don't shoot the ball well from the three-point line. Only average about 5 3-pointers per game in the regular season. So if they can keep the game close down the stretch, they'll just have to pound it inside. How about Duke? They've got one of the best players in the nation in Jahlil Okafor, a big man who can really establish himself on that block, and he can get Kentucky's big men in foul trouble and get to the free throw line. Not to mention, he's going to demand a double team just about every touch he gets, which bodes well for a team that shoots 40% from the three-point line. Can't remember the last time Coach K didn't underutilize a big man. Now, Duke doesn't rebound or defend the ball as well as Arizona, so they won't match Kentucky in that regard, but they do shoot the ball well from the perimeter, and they can get points in the paint, which makes them a tough matchup for any team in the tournament. Plus, they got a big-game poised freshman by the name of Tyus Jones. He's pretty good. I think we officially have a sleeper team in NC State. They knocked off number 1 Villanova to advance in the Sweet 16, and with BJ Anya and Malik Abdul in that paint, that's a dangerous team. More importantly, they already know they can do the unthinkable. Not many people gave them a chance to knock off the number 1 seed, but now that they've done it, watch out. Any team in the tournament, they are dangerous. Now on to a team that is most certainly looking forward to a rematch after falling short to the Wildcats in last year's Final Four matchup, the Wisconsin Badgers. They were only 1 possession away from beating Kentucky last time around, but they got hammered in the paint. But it's okay now. With Decker, Hayes, and Kaminsky, they match up much better inside the paint with Kentucky's bigs. And with the shooters they have on the perimeter, they're going to force Kentucky's bigs to be a little more honest on the defensive end and not pack the paint. The Badgers are a great three-point shooting team and the most offensively efficient team in the tournament. I mean, they average 1.2 points per possession. That is impressive. They do a great job of spreading the floor. They do an even better job of sharing the ball. They're patient. They like to play slow and methodical. And more importantly, they know how to establish and set their own tempo. They're not concerned or interested in playing anyone else's game but their own. And that's where things could get tricky for Kentucky. If they were to match up with the Badgers, not only would they be facing a team that's out with a vengeance, they'd be facing a team that's so committed to slowing down the pace of the game that it can get kind of boring. And Kentucky is a team that feeds off of energy. Imagine them playing defense 20 seconds into the shot clock on a consistent basis throughout the game. That can be exhausting. And for the Badgers, it helps that they have a big man in Frank Kaminsky that can get physical with Kentucky's bigs, but also pull them out of the paint and force them onto the perimeter, making some room for their guards to get into the lane and make some things happen. So those are 4 teams I think can beat Kentucky. Now, whether or not they will beat Kentucky or even have a shot at them, still yet to be seen. There is still plenty of basketball to be played. And hey, Kentucky may prove to be too deep and just too talented for any team in the tournament. But what's the fun of predictability? I'm betting against them. Let me know what you guys think. Comment, like. Is Kentucky going to take it all? Or are you taking the field? Who are you betting on?